Do you know how many times Trump lied during his speech last night? 11 million. 3 fact checkers died adding it up. Not everyone was a fan of the King's speech. One gentleman on social media, I think, summed it up pretty well. He wrote, "That may be the angriest, least compassionate, worst State of the Union speech ever made. It was an embarrassment to our country." Oh, wait, that was what Trump wrote about Biden's speech last year. Well, he topped it. There was plenty of Biden bashing last night. Trump said Biden was the worst president in history. He blamed him for the...
Donald Trump thrives on attention unless it's the wrong kind. So when Jimmy Kimmel took a flamethrower to Trump's marriage on live TV, you knew the former president was not going to let it slide. One moment, Kimmel's cracking jokes, and the next, he's pulling back the curtain on a relationship that seemed as warm as a handshake between two competitive CEOs. Trump naturally responded in his trademark style, unleashing a late night all-caps rant on Truth Social. Because nothing screams healthy relationship like a 300 meltdown on social media. Grab some popcorn, folks. This one's about to get a lot messier.
Here, President Trump doesn't typically fill out a bracket himself, but seems like he might be regretting that now.
President Trump, did you fill out a NCAA March Madness bracket?
I didn't. I should have. Have there been upsets? A couple, right?
You lay down.
If you want, but maybe backdated, right?
The first thing that always comes to mind is, how can I cheat on this?
Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Now, when most people retire, they think of golfing, relaxing, or maybe even writing a memoir. But for Donald Trump, retirement looks a bit different. It's all about throwing tantrums on Truth Social, dodging subpoenas, and constantly reminding everyone that he's still the star of America's political soap opera. Every week brings a new disaster, a fresh scandal, and yet another cringeworthy attempt to stay in the spotlight. One moment, he's rubbing elbows with autocrats, convinced he's outwitting them. The next, he's whining about how the media treats him unfairly, all while desperately begging for their attention.
Perfect. Thank you for asking this way.
Why would anyone want a picture like this? I mean, it's like he's just about to start the YMCA dance, and then the last time I saw him pose like that was in front of 600 cheeseburgers. But the Burger King bragged about all the great shows he's going to bring in. He's promising big Broadway hits like Phantom of the Opera, but not Hamilton. Hamilton was supposed to run at the Kennedy Center, but they backed out in protest, which turns out is just fine with Donald Trump.
I was never a big fan of. I never liked Hamilton very much. I never liked it.
He never liked it.
When Putin dangles a carrot, Trump leaps for it like a reality show contestant desperate for another season. For years, he's been calling everyone else weak, yet the second a foreign leader tosses him a half-hearted compliment, he crumbles faster than an ice cream cone in the summer sun. The art of the deal, more like the art of getting played. And then there's his ongoing feud with culture when he's not ranting about how award shows are rigged, his fantasizing about hosting one himself, because nothing says man of the people like demanding a spot at the Kennedy Center honors while simultaneously calling Hollywood the enemy.
Fascinating day in this country we call America. Quick question for the audience. Did anyone else get a group chat invite from the National Security Advisor? Just me. I know we shouldn't enjoy the fact that we have a confederacy of dunces running this country, but I'll be honest, I can't help it.
Meanwhile, Trump's legal troubles stack up faster than his bad hair days. Every time one courtroom door shuts, another one swings open, each case bringing the same old denial, deflection, and dramatic all-caps rants. He's facing accusations ranging from election interference to mishandling classified documents. But somehow his biggest complaint is how these indictments are messing with his golf schedule. The incompetence doesn't stop with him. His team recently made headlines for accidentally texting war plans to the wrong people, because when it comes to national security, nothing screams stable genius like a group chat disaster. It's just chaos on repeat.
He is better at eliminating schools than Donald Trump, and if he had filled out a bracket, it would be the most perfect bracket the world has ever seen.
Whenever a new controversy hits, Trump's go-to response is to blame the media, call it fake news, and then quietly pretend it never happened. It's a pattern that's as predictable as his late-night rants. Take, for example, his latest meltdown over his presidential portrait. Every former president gets a tradition, but leave it to Trump to turn an oil painting into a full-blown national emergency. Instead of appreciating the honor, he reportedly hated it, probably because it didn't come with a Photoshop filter. After all, artists are trying to capture historical accuracy. But Trump's ideal portrait is one that makes him look like an action hero, strong, heroic, and larger than life, not the man who once struggled to walk down a ramp or drink from a glass of water without assistance. It's not the first time he's turned something simple into a spectacle, from ramp-walking fiascos to bizarre media attacks. Trump's obsession with his image has always been a key part of his public persona. His obsession with perfection, where everything is either entirely positive or completely ignored, drives everything, even something as seemingly straightforward as a presidential portrait. It's a constant effort to reshape his legacy, even if it means making a mountain out of a molehill.
Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, he's dead to rights. He texted very sensitive information to a reporter. So what does he do? He blames the reporter.
You're talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again, to include the hoaxes of Russia, or the fine people on both sides hoax, or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage.
This is like, and I know Pete can relate to this, this is like getting drunk, driving your car into a lamppost.
Even Trump's most loyal supporters are starting to look exhausted. J.D. Vance, one of his biggest cheerleaders, dared to voice a mild disagreement, and now the MAGA world is holding its breath. Will Trump throw him under the bus? Will Vance grovel for forgiveness? Watching MAGA allies navigate Trump's mood swings is like watching contestants on Survivor, except the immunity idols are loyalty pledges, and the challenges involve pretending every meltdown is a calculated move. And just when you think the chaos can't get any more absurd, here comes another round of Trump getting played by the world's most practiced manipulator. It's no secret that Trump has a Putin problem. From the moment he took office, he's treated the Russian leader less like a political adversary and more like a celebrity. He desperately wants to impress Putin, throws him a compliment, and suddenly Trump is blushing like a reality show contestant receiving a rose. His entire foreign policy, it seems, is dictated by the need for approval from a dictator, whether it's flattering him with talk of toughness or ignoring glaring red flags. Trump's obsession with Putin is almost embarrassingly obvious. And through it all, the world watches as Trump plays the part of the eager, starstruck follower.
One of the most interesting things that came out of the chat is that J.D. Vance apparently did not agree with Trump's plan to bomb. He wrote, "I think we are making a mistake, and I'm not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now." And then Pete Hegseth chimed in and said, "VP, I understand your concerns. I fully support you raising with POTUS." In other words, good luck with that, bro. So then Vance was like, well, you know what? If you think we should do it, let's go. And they did. And again, we know all this because they accidentally added a reporter to their text.
And we were invited over there, and I thought it would be I have great respect for the wife of our great vice president. I think she's she's a brilliant woman. She's a very nice woman. And she loves the concept of Greenland. And so she's going there, and I think Marco's going there, and some others are going there. But we've been invited.
Meanwhile, Putin walks away with everything he wants, while Trump is left holding a participation trophy, proudly declaring it a historic win. Every time, Trump always believes he's in contraluntal. He's forced to face the fact that he isn't, and of course, his reaction follows the same predictable script: immediate denial, followed by a wild, unhinged rant about how he's actually the toughest on Russia. Then comes the classic pivot, attacks the media for reporting on it, calling it a witch hunt, and claiming the real scandal is whatever he decides to throw a fit about that day. Could be wind turbines, low water pressure, or just people being mean to him on Twitter. The possibilities are endless, but no matter the issue, Trump's fallback excuse is always the same: it's fake news. This defense has become his go-to move whenever he's caught looking foolish, which, let's face it, happens quite often. His logic is simple: if something makes him look bad, it must not be real. The problem: reality doesn't give a damn about his branding strategies or tantrums. While he's busy spinning a narrative, the world keeps moving and the truth keeps slipping through the cracks of his carefully curated image.
Under Biden, the federal government was spending $8 million on this.
$2 million for making mice transgender. This is real.
No, it's not. You know, you hear the president of the United States say we're spending $8 million to do sex change operations on mice. You assume, well, I'm sure he's exaggerating, but there must be something there. Turns out there's not. It's not real. The government spent money on transgenic mice, which are genetically modified mice they use in lab tests to study disease. It has nothing to do with being...
What's even funnier is that his own allies are completely clueless about how to spin this mess. They scramble to downplay the situation, offering bizarre justifications ranging from Putin respects Trump's strength to claiming this is all a deep state smear campaign. Meanwhile, Putin just sits back, probably enjoying a celebratory drink. As he watches the chaos unfold, Trump's circus continues, and he has a front row seat to the madness he's created now. As if things weren't ridiculous enough, Trump has set his sights on hosting the Kennedy Center Honors. Yes, that Kennedy Center honors the prestigious event that celebrates the best of American arts and culture. The same man who spent years trashing Hollywood, mocking celebrities, and whining about how unfairly the entertainment industry treats him now suddenly wants a seat at the table. It's almost as if he believes this could be his big comeback moment, his chance to finally rub elbows with A-listers who have spent decades pretending he doesn't exist. Talk about irony. The man who once derided the very industry now desperately wants to be a part of it, and not just any part. A spotlight moment front and center. It's the perfect example of Trump's knack for making everything about him, no matter how out of place or absurd.
A spider crawled into Donald Trump's underpants. Luckily, Stormy Daniels was there, and she killed it with a magazine. She just beat it so hard, and then Trump was so grateful he got his lawyers to secretly pay her $130,000. It's a token of gratitude.
Let's be real, this will never happen. The Kennedy Center Honors isn't exactly looking for a guy whose greatest cultural contribution is a line of badly photoshopped sneakers with an American flag slapped on them. Even funnier is the thought of Trump actually taking the stage. Picture this: fumbling through a tribute speech, mispronouncing names, maybe even calling someone a loser mid-sentence, before turning it into a rant about how he's never won an Oscar. Imagine him attempting to honor a legendary composer only to pivot into a monologue about how windmills are ruining the planet. The entertainment world already gave him the cold shoulder a long time ago, and no amount of desperate pleas for relevance will change that. No matter how much he craves the spotlight, the Kennedy Center Honors will remain exactly what it has always been to him, a party he was invited to. And just when you thought things couldn't get any more absurd, Team Trump went full on oops, we did it again, and accidentally texted classified war plans to the wrong people. It's the kind of mistake that makes you wonder if these people should even be trusted with a group lunch order, let alone the fate of national security, if only their attention to detail matched their ability to create chaos.
Trump told them that he thinks he might host the Kennedy Center Honor Show himself this year. He said he should do it because he's the king of ratings. That would be so great. Him hosting an award show, me at home tweeting insults while he does it. I mean, let's do that. That's serious. Let's squeeze that load into a tuxedo.
We don't need woke at the Kennedy Center. We don't need... Some of the shows were terrible. They're a disgrace that they were even put on. So I'll be there until such time as it gets to be running right.
1 minute, Trump and his team are ranting about deep state conspiracies, accusing anyone who disagrees with them of being part of a vast, shadowy plot. The next, they're sending sensitive military strategies to a PTA group chat. Seriously, imagine the horror of a suburban mom just trying to coordinate snack duty for soccer practice when her phone lights up with a message about nuclear launch schedules. It's the kind of accidental leak that could give anyone whiplash, and you can't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. Naturally, the response from Team Trump was exactly what you'd expect: denial, deflection, and a barrage of excuses. This is fake news, they roared in unison, trying to brush it all under the rug. Then, of course, they blamed it on the deep state, a rogue intern, and because why not probably Hunter Biden for good measure. Classic Trump playbook: shift the blame and hope no one notices the chaos that's already spiraled out of control. But here's the kicker: the text wasn't sent to an enemy nation or some secret intelligence operative. No, it landed in the inbox of a completely random person. This unsuspecting individual now has more insight into U.S. military strategy than most of Congress. They weren't looking for state secrets, but there they were served up with a side of whoops are bad. And let's be real, at least now, we know that the greatest threat to national security is to foreign adversary with military might. No, it's a campaign staffer with fat thumbs and absolutely no clue how group chats work. This incident was a perfect storm of incompetence and carelessness, exposing just how easily sensitive information can be mishandled by those who should be guarding it. It's both hilarious and terrifying.